Tubers, family, friends. My family already thinks I'm crazy. Probably half my friends do too. Uh, Being a believer in God and Jesus, and especially a believer in prophecy and signs from Bible prophecy and history of Bible prophecy, is a very lonely job. But we're watchers commanded by Christ through the Holy Spirit to deliver these messages of warning, just like Elijah and Jonah and many prophets in the Bible did. And when you have this spirit burning in your heart to share and to warn the people, it doesn't matter who hates you, who's against you, who thinks you're going to go crazy, you're going crazy, or whatever it is. You do what God commands you to do, despite what all the other people that don't believe and that are they don't have a faith at all, and they believe in other things. They're not going to want to listen to it. But here goes. And it's not like I'm depressed or going crazy. This is just a gift, or some people would say it's a curse that God gave me, and I've had it ever since a child. And ever since I became a Christian when I was like 8 or 10 years old, I went to a Lowell Lundstrom concert in northern Minnesota, near where we lived and grew up as children. And my mom brought me to it. And ever since that time, I've walked not on the straight and narrow in my walk with Christ and my being a saved person at that time, but I was always one of His children and chosen by God to follow this path. It's been a rocky road, and we all make mistakes as humans on this earth, and we're all sinners, no matter if you're Christians or not. But you go through trials, and you go through forgiveness of what you've done, and you're redeemed by Christ, right? And so this is the burden He put on me. So here goes. This one's a big one, and I'm staying up late, and I'm in my office in the tower, and this just came over me like a crush, like a wall of bricks fell on me, and I just have to share it to everybody. And this isn't anything someone else told me. I watched a couple other tubers that are prophecy students and stuff like that, and these little bits and pieces come up, but I put all this together today, and a lot of this work is from Abraham. He's got a channel, it's Abraham Overcome Babylon. So if you want more detail into what I'm going to share right here, some of this stuff I've interjected from bits and pieces that I've gotten from other research and stuff too, but here it is. This is the map of the U.S., which it doesn't look like the U.S. is very good. This is just a quick drawing I did, right? Okay, the big thing that's going on right now that no one really realizes, that there's this massive solar eclipse triad. So 3 eclipses has gone through the U.S. and all through Bible history and even other pagan religions and stuff. They go by eclipses, huge, all throughout human history. Eclipses and solar eclipses and lunar eclipses and all that stuff has been a huge part of the mystic world and also Bible prophecy. The Bible says signs will occur in the heavens before the end times happen. So I'm just sharing this. Whether this stuff is going to happen or not, I don't know, but I'm impelled. Absolutely, my whole being is impelled to share it. So here goes. There's been there's been 2 solar eclipses out of 3 in the last few years, and there's 7 years that separates the first eclipse, which was on August 21st, 2017. And this was the route it took. It came through Washington State, went through the center of the country, and then below Florida and out. So where the epicenter or the travel of where eclipses happen in the world is prophetic for that country. That's just the way it's always been. So that was the first one in 2017, right? The second one was October 14th, 2023, which went from, and the first intersection of those 2 eclipses was right here off the coast of Washington where the Cascadia Fault is. So that's pointing to that possible fault quake that could happen and wipe out the whole West Coast, because that fault goes all the way down out here, out from the shore of the western coast of the United States. And then it went through here, San Antonio, Texas, and then out. And then the one that's going to happen that hasn't happened yet is April 8th, 2024. And that's going to intersect here at San Antonio and in Little Egypt, Illinois. It's the very bottom tip of the state of Illinois, Little Egypt. And then out through Maine, up on the northeast there. So again, it's very, you need to really heed the warning of the intersections of where the solar eclipses came through America. And it's huge that it foretells. And usually it foretells, solar eclipses foretell judgment upon a country. And we know how completely evil that the whole country of the U.S. has become, so evil in the entire world. And it's time for judgment for them. So this first crossing was, like I say, that Cascadia Fault that God could set off and wipe out the West Coast. The other one is San Antonio, Texas, which was San Antonio, the city, was named after a Catholic saint, and he was a doctor. Now, with all the medical procedures and things that's been going on these last 3 years, that means that there was a plague that was set upon the country, and that it was actually the whole world. But that means that most of the plague that happened this last 3 years affected the U.S. the worst, and all the statistics say that. And it keeps getting worse. Excess deaths are through the roof, for especially the U.S. I mean, even one of the famous singer just died, a country singer, Toby Keith. I have a couple of his songs on my playlist, and he was great. And he just died of cancer and got it just shortly after he got the required treatment of that thing that happened 3 years ago. Okay, and then the next point that the eclipse is going to travel through on April 8th, and today is February 8th, by the way, 2 months until this last of the 3 eclipses hits the U.S., is Little Egypt, Illinois. That's the intersection. And that place right now has like several abortion clinics. And so many children are being killed there through abortions, because all the surrounding states, since they outlawed, they reversed the Roe versus Wade abortion clinic or abortions for the country a couple years ago. And ever since that happened, some of the states are now allowing abortions back in, but federally it's illegal. So most of the states surrounding this whole Midwest of the country don't do abortions anymore, but Illinois does. And there's a bunch of right at the bottom of Illinois because it's connected to all these other states around that bottom part of Illinois. So they got all kinds of abortion clinics set up there. So you got people coming from all these states to this little Egypt area. In Egypt, of course, we know is idols and the whole Egyptian gods and all that stuff. So that's a huge deal there. That's occurred at that conjunction of that eclipse. And also, if you go back in history, the biggest North American ancient mounds, they're what they are is pyramids, but they didn't have rock and stone and granite to make them, so they made them out of earth, right? So there's the biggest bunch of mounds ever discovered in North America is in Little Egypt, Illinois. And those people that were there worshipped false gods that required human sacrifice. So, and then it's very strange how now in today they're doing abortions. Many little tiny infants are being killed in that same place, human sacrifice. So that's crazy, right? Okay, here's where it really gets wild, guys. Okay, now this is judgment upon the U.S. That's what these solar eclipses mean. Okay, when the very first eclipse came in August of 2017, 2 months later on October 1st, 2017, I lived in Las Vegas, in the mountains, actually to the northeast of Las Vegas. And if any of you remember, there was a massive massacre there at the one of the casinos. They were having an outdoor country western concert at the Mandalay Bay, right? And there was like 400 and some people that were injured and over 60 people that were killed in this massacre that occurred there. Because, why? Because when these eclipses happen, it's a sign to these guys here, worshipers, these guys. This group here is what controls the United States. That cabal in the deep state, that's their religion. And that religion goes all the way back to ancient times. You look it up and do your research. This right here was the golden calf in the 10 Commandments, right? Where Moses and he came down and they had the Israelites created the golden calf and they were worshiping it and doing all kinds of evil when Moses coming off the mountain with the 10 Commandments and he destroyed them all. And these people are huge in the world right now, and especially in the United States. They're the ones that control the United States. They're the ones that took out Kennedy, the President Kennedy, and took over the country literally in 1963, the year I was born. And they require this. They require that in their rituals, right? On or near solar eclipses. They require it. And that's what they did in Las Vegas in October 1st of 2017, which it was less than 2 months from that eclipse after it had passed, right? So you have to wait until the first eclipse passes, then shortly thereafter you make a sacrifice. This is the way these people operate. And then this last one, then the second one was a conjunction here where all the human sacrifices of abortion's been going on ever since. And it was right about the same time these started, right after this eclipse happened. That's when Roe versus Wade got overturned. And that's when so the entire time from 2017 to now, today, all these massacres and sacrifices has been going on right here. And then there's one final big this kind of sacrifice that's going to happen, the same location, Las Vegas, Nevada, within 2 months before the final eclipse goes through. So 2 months before, remember, the final eclipse is coming through April 8th. What is 2 months before? Well, today is the 8th of February. That's 2 months before. Okay, but what happens in 3 days from now? Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas, Nevada. The very first Super Bowl and the very last, in my opinion, Super Bowl that's gonna be in the United States of America. And it's all gonna happen on the 11th of February. That's what all my prophetic readings are saying, that's going to be the last Super Bowl ever. And what other clues do we have here? It's going to be between the Chiefs and the 49ers, the same two teams as 2017 Super Bowl, which was the first eclipse. The same exact teams. And this whole thing that's Taylor Swift constantly being in all the games and stuff this year for the Chiefs, she is a Masonic witch. She is sucking in all the people that don't know what's going on for this final this and this that's going to happen here in this brand new building here in Las Vegas. And that brand new building stadium is called the Death Star. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. This is the evil and the foretelling and the stuff that they do. These people here require this in all their this. And that's what is going on here. Okay, so she is the one like a succubus, right? Luring in the people all to go here for a massive final this of huge proportions. And the number 3 is just like we just talked. It was the massacre on October 1st, 2017. And this is going to be the final one. And this one here is what's going to draw us in to the war, World War III, right? Because this people here, right? These evil people here need this. They need one of those to rally and unite the country to go to war against Russia, Iran, and China, right? And they need something big, just like the whole thing that happened at Pearl Harbor to get us sucked into World War II. The same kind of crap. It's just another day, same playbook. This is the way these people operate. And so like I say, they're going to unite all the people because of this, because they're going to blame it on terrorists, right? That's what they'll blame it on. Coming up through the border, right? Coming up through all the borders. And we know it's all orchestrated. It's all planned. I mean, they've been opening the borders wide open all through Biden's administration. They've just been pouring over the border, 8, 10, 12,000 a day. Right? So you got this huge invasion force all over in the United States to start hitting whatever and sleeper cells or whatever plans they got going. But this is what's gonna touch it off. This right here. And when this happens, when this gets hit on February 11th, this is gonna happen. Complete economic and stock market crash. So everybody's going to be without a job because all the companies are going to lay off because the whole economy has collapsed and the market has collapsed and all people's savings and retirements are completely wiped out. And the whole country is going to rise up. They won't have a job anyways, so they'll go into the military, and that's exactly what they need. And they'll be shipped over to fight Russia and Iran, and World War III is on. And that's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, right there. That's my guess and my opinion. And if I were to guess, the way these people work is that we know 9/11, when that happened, right, in 2001, that's a huge, they look at these numbers. It's all numerals, and there's signals to each of the evil cabals in these groups here, types of people, and they signal to each other through numbers. So if I were to guess when this was going to happen, is probably at 9 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock in the fourth quarter. That's my spiritual guess. Now, I could be completely wrong on this, but my heart's just has a heaviness on it that you would not believe right now. It's just, I got chills going up my spine, and I've never had my spirit speak to me this strongly about anything in my entire life. And like I say, I'm coming to you from the Philippines. God told me to leave the U.S. 10 years ago, and for good reason, especially if this thing occurs. So my suggestion is, if you're in the Las Vegas area, get out. Just for a day or two, on Sunday, go to a different city, fly to a different city for a couple days, just in case, right? Because this could be the end of all in that city for a long time, depending on how bad it is. I don't know that, and no one really knows except God. But this is just my guess, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to put the warning out there, and I just pray that you're not there, and if you are, get out for a couple days, just as a friendly warning. I just had to get this out tonight, and so you have a little bit of time. So I appreciate you listening and watching, and please like and subscribe if you could. And God bless and take care. Bye-bye.